Exodus 2. Now a man from the house of Levi took as his wife a daughter of Levi. The woman conceived and gave birth to a son. Now when she saw that he was delightful, she hid him for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she took a basket of papyrus reeds, coated it with tar and pitch, put the child inside, and laid it in the reeds by the bank of the Nile. His sister stood off at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe, while her maidens walked along by the riverside. When she saw the basket among the reeds, she sent her handmaiden to fetch it. When she dropped it, she saw the child, the baby boy, crying. She had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrew children." And his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call a nurse from the Hebrews to nurse the child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter told her, "Go." So the girl went and called the child's mother. Then Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse him for me, and I will pay your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him. After the boy grew older, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. So she named him Moses, saying, "Because I drew him out of the water." Now it happened in those days, after Moses had grown up, that he went to his brothers and saw their burdens. He noticed an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his own people. So he looked around. When he saw that there was nobody, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Then he went out on the following day, and he saw 2 Hebrew men fighting. So he said to the guilty one, "Why are you beating your companion?" But the man answered, "Who made you a ruler and a judge over us? Are you saying you're going to kill me just as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses was afraid and thought for sure that the deed had become known. When Pharaoh heard about this, he tried to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and settled in the land of Midian, where he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters who came and drew water. They filled the troughs to water their father's flock, but shepherds came and drove them away. So Moses stood up, helped them, and watered their flock. When they came to Reuel, their father, he said, "How come you returned so soon today?" So they told him, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds. He also drew water for us and watered the flock." "Where is he then?" He said to his daughters. "Why did you leave the man behind? Invite him to have some food to eat." Moses was content to stay with the man. Later he gave Moses his daughter Zipporah. She gave birth to a son and named him Gershom, saying, "I have been an outsider in a foreign land." Now it came about over the course of those many days that the king of Egypt died. Beni Israel groaned because of their slavery. They cried out in their cry from slavery up to God. God heard their sobbing and remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God saw Beni Israel, and he was concerned about them. Exodus 3. Now Moses was tending the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian. So he led the flock to the farthest ends of the wilderness, coming to the mountain of God, Horeb. Then the angel of Adonai appeared to him in a flame of fire from within a bush. So he looked and saw the bush burning in fire, yet it was not consumed. Moses thought, "I will go now and see the great sight. Why is the bush not burnt?" When Adonai saw that he turned to look, he called out to him out of the midst of the bush and said, "Moses, Moses." So he answered, "Hineni." Then he said, "Come no closer. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Moreover, he said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." So Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. Then Adonai said, "I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their masters. For I know their pains, so I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians. So bring them up out of that land into a good and large land, a land flowing with milk and honey, into the place of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Now behold, the cry of Beni Israel has come to me. Moreover, I have seen the oppression that the Egyptians have afflicted on them. Come now, I will send you to Pharaoh, so that you may bring my people Beni Israel out from Egypt." But Moses said to God, "Who am I, that I should go to Pharaoh and bring Beni Israel out of Egypt?" So he said, "I will surely be with you, so that will be the sign to you that is I who sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain." But Moses said to God, "Suppose I go to Beni Israel and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you.' And they ask me, 'What is his name?' What should I say to them?" God answered Moses, "I am who I am." Then he said, "You are to say to Beni Israel, 'I am has sent me to you.'" God also said to Moses, "You are to say to Beni Israel, 'Adonai, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and the name by which I should be remembered from generation to generation. Go now, gather the elders of Israel together, and say to them, 'Adonai, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me, saying, I have been paying close attention to you and have seen what is done to you in Egypt. So I promise I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt, into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, to a land flowing with milk and honey. They will listen to your voice, so you will go, and you, along with the elders of Israel, to the king of Egypt, and say to him, Adonai, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Now please let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to Adonai our God. Nevertheless, I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go, except by mighty hand. So I will stretch out my hand and strike Egypt with all my wonders that I will do in the midst of it. After that he will let you go. Then I shall grant these people favor in the eyes of the Egyptians, so it will happen that when you go, you will not have empty-handed. You will not leave empty-handed. Every woman is to ask her neighbor, and the woman who lives in her house, for silver and gold jewelry and clothing. You will put them on your sons and your daughters, so you will plunder the Egyptians. Exodus 4. Then Moses said, But look, they will not believe me or listen to my voice. They will say, Adonai has not appeared to you. So Adonai said to him, What is it in your hand? A staff, he said. Then he said, Cast it on the ground. When he cast it on the ground, it became a serpent. So Moses fled from before it. Then Adonai said to Moses, Stretch out your hand and take it by the tail. So he put on the hand, laid hold of it, and it became a staff in his hand. This is so that he may believe Adonai, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to you. Adonai also said to him, Now put your hand within your cloak. So he put his hand inside, and when he took it out, his hand had zazaret, white as snow. Then he said, Put your hand back into your cloak. So he put his hand back in, and when he took it out, his was restored again, as the rest of his skin. Then he said, If they do not believe you or listen to the voice of the first sign, they will believe the message of the latter sign. But if they do not believe even these 2 signs, nor listen to your voice, you are to take the water of the river and pour it on the dry land. The water which you take out of the river will become blood on the ground. Then Moses said to Adonai, Adonai, I am not a man of words, not yesterday nor the day before, nor since you have spoken to your servant, because I have a slow mouth and a heavy tongue. So Adonai said to him, Who made man's mouth? Or who makes man's mute or deaf, seeing or blind? Is it not I, Adonai? Now go, I will be with your mouth, and teach you what to say. But he said, Please, please, send it by another hand. And the anger of Adonai was kindled against Moses. So he said, In fact, Aaron and Levi, the Levite, your brother. I know that he can speak well. Moreover, he is the one on the way to meet you. When he sees you, he will be glad in his heart. You are to speak to him and put your words in his mouth. I will be with your mouth and with his, and teach you what to do. He will be your spokesman to the people, so that he may act as a mouthpiece for you. And it will be as if you were God for him. Now then, you must take this staff in your hand and do the signs. So Moses went, returned to his father-in-law's Jethro, and said to him, Please let me go, so I may return to my kinsmen who are in Egypt, and see whether they are still alive. Jethro said to Moses, Go in peace. Then Adonai said to Moses in Midian, Go, return to Egypt, for all the men that sought your life are dead. So Moses took his wife and his sons, set them on a donkey, and returned to the land of Egypt. Moses took the staff of God in his hand. Adonai said to Moses, When you go back to Egypt, see that you do all the wonders before Pharaoh that I have put in your hand. Still I will harden his heart, and he will not let the people go. You are to say to Pharaoh, This is what Adonai says, Israel is my son, my firstborn. So I have said to you, Let my people go, that he may serve me. But you have refused to let him go. Behold, I will slay your son, your firstborn. It happened along the way at a lodging place that Adonai met him and sought him to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint, cut off the foreskin of her son, and threw it at his feet, saying, You are surely a bridegroom of blood to me. She said, A bridegroom of blood because of the circumcision. Then he let him alone. Now Adonai said to Aaron, Go into the wilderness to meet Moses. So he went and met him at the mountain of God and kissed him. Then Moses told Aaron all the words of Adonai with which he had been sent, along with all the signs that he had been commanded to do. Then Moses and Aaron went and assembled all the elders of Bnei Israel. Aaron spoke to the words that Adonai had spoken to Moses, and did the signs in the sight of the people. So the people believed. When they heard that Adonai had remembered Bnei Israel and had seen their affliction, they bowed their heads and worshipped.